I do want to say before we've said this in tidbits and over probably all 3 seasons of why we call this, the presidential executive. For my part, being the exec, just going back from just my time and days, even at TSU, my major was business information systems, slash marketing. Then I changed it to business administration, what I'm saying, slash marketing. So that's always pretty much kind of been my mindset as far as an executive. And obviously my close game was a little bit higher back then than it than it kind of is now, given with the pandemic and a lot of other stuff kind of going on. But when I used to manage, let's go back. We had DMR. We had to do music. You know what I'm saying? And so, shout out to everybody a part of that. You know what I mean? Like I was the executive for that. I was managing artists. One over here, El Presidente. We used to have different shows, and I was the point man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'd come with my suit on, with my business hat, my little polo. My little polo
Yeah, they
black
call
hat.
it the schoolboy cap.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm
Like
saying?
those, like, cause that's the only type of hat my dad wears now.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get another look, because I see that's kind of like an old man look now. Almost.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. I mean, but like my dad been doing that
But
since
yeah,
he was younger than we are now.
and so I'm not quite there yet. So I need to find another brim to kind of do
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? Cause wifey kind of called me out on it one time. We was out and I had my judge on. You say, so you got your daddy hat on or something like that. Old man, I'm like, yeah, you probably right. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, so the exec, just being around those environments, being around that, being the exec, having that mindset. That's why he has his shirt. I don't have my shirt on. The executive
yeah, I
mindset.
was gonna say,
You know what I'm
man, I'm
saying?
representing.
Yeah, you are representing. I'm not. I don't have
Loafing.
mine on today. So, but the executive mindset is, for me, is having that business mindset, having that, having all your, T's crossed, I's dotted, and all that stuff. And so, that's what the executive part is about. And I'll let El Presidente talk about the presidential status.
Man, well, and I've told the story
You have, yep, you have.
before on here, and so y'all know that I'm not making this up. We mentioned this guy. And before I say that, let me give a shout out to the family of Shakoria Smith. She was one of my coworkers at the post office. She passed away last. Well, by the time everybody sees this, I don't know what the day will be.
Shakoria Smith.
Yeah, yeah. She passed away on the 28th, 27th, 28th. It was a shooting that happened in Fraser. And the young lady that passed away was one of my coworkers, and I had just saw her, that Sunday. We were at work, and I mean, you talk about somebody smile, light up the room, and every time she see me, what's up, big bro? You good, nigga? Like she was a ball of energy, and no more than 24, 25. I mean, really passionate about music, and that was how we connected, and I was actually trying to connect her with my homeboy Ty. That's who we gave a shout out when Player Tony was on here, Salati Studio. Like we were trying to put them in touch together because she was like, I don't have a place to record, and I was like, I got somebody who's looking to work with artists because he's helping, with his skills. But anytime the loss of life happens, man, it's tragic.
24, bro.
Yeah, man, and like I said, good people, had a good heart. And so again, man, love to you. And I know they did a balloon release today at the station. And so again, man, rest in peace to her. And again, my prayers go out to your family, your loved ones. But so going back to what we were talking about, like, and my guy Jason Smith when he was on here, and I was telling you I didn't know that he actually was Thomas Sellers' boss.
Yeah, remember
At one point, right?
Yeah.
And so, but Thomas Sellers can vouch because he was actually in the class with me. Mm-hmm. But that happened where I told the teacher at the beginning of the school year, because she kind of tried to put me on the spot, like she had everybody's file. She knew about everybody. So she was going like, oh, Jamal, you're a great tennis player and your dad is a pastor. Like, and you're looking at her like, how you know that? And again, our guy Pastor Harris was on here. This is actually his aunt. So
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, that
That's
was
right.
his
That's
aunt,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So she's going down, and so she gets to me, and before I could say anything,
She went down the rap sheet.
she talked about me getting kicked out 6th and 7th and 8th grade, and how in ninth grade, the ninth grade English teacher didn't want me in her class because of what I did in middle school. So I couldn't take honors with everybody else because she refused to have me in her class. So she went down all of that, and then so now everybody's like, oh, she's like, if you think you're gonna do this in my class, you got another thing coming because I don't play that, and so I ain't gonna lie, I felt some type of way about that.
I know she
You
did.
know,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say she was wrong for that or right for that, but I just didn't like the way because we had not. Maybe if she had kind of given me the heads up, I'd okay.
You didn't have that rapport with her at that time. Yeah.
This is my first day.
First day. Yeah,
you know,
yeah, for sure.
and then everybody was like, she was a serious, teacher and everything. She didn't play that, but so basically then she was like, so what do you think about that? And I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do every day for the first semester. And I said, in the second semester, I'm gonna do all your work. I'm gonna do all the assignments, and based on my average from the first semester and second semester, I'm gonna average out about a 70 for the year, and I'm still gonna pass. And I said my D is like a C to everybody else. So even because it's an honors class, so we're rated higher.
Right.
I said so I'm still gonna do what I want to do. And for the second semester, my average gonna be an A. I said I'm gonna have an F for my average the first semester.
And you said that,
and I said that, and she was like, "Oh, if you think you're gonna do that, you got another thing." I'm like, "Okay, we'll see." And the first semester, back when we was in school, it was still 6 weeks and not 9 weeks.
right? Yeah.
So first semester, man, I was flunking tests on purpose. Like I would like dead, like I would mark the same answer because I said I'm gonna do
You
it.
say you're gonna do it, so you're gonna.
We came back from Christmas break, and so hit the ground. I mean, I'm doing everything, turning all of the assignments. But 3 weeks in, she gets sick. We get a student teacher. Shout out to Miss Crutchfield. She's married to the guy at Crutchfield's Barbecue, but she was actually my student teacher then before she, became a business owner. She was actually a teacher. And so she came in, and I mean, I'm still doing all my work and everything like that. So 4 or 6 weeks ago, I get a 98 for the 4 or 6 weeks. 5th, 6 weeks we in right now, my average 100. So teacher comes back. How's everybody doing? She's my students this, and this. She was like, what about him? She's like, oh, well, when I first came, he tried to see where my head was at, but, he's been my superstar. He's been helping me. Oh, he tried to try you, huh? Like one day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you try to see what the new teacher on.
Right.
She was like, oh, okay, well, we finna fix that. So, Mr. Ragland, nobody likes you anyway, so you finna get put out the class. I was like, okay, we're going to make everybody vote. Now, keep in mind, around this time, this is when President Clinton is going through his stuff about impeachment and everything like that. And I used to joke and say, like, Clinton was my favorite president, and I was like the Black Bill Clinton and everything like that. And so, and then, of course, he was known for being a philanderer and everything, and that was kind of my reputation, like, oh, Roche Manning, she always, whatever. So she made everybody vote on whether or not I was going to get kicked out the class. And so we had 30 students in there, including me. I didn't get to vote for myself. So the 29 people that were in there, 28 of them voted to keep me in the class. And she could not believe it. She could not believe, like, she just knew, like, at least half. She basically was like, if half of them wanted me out, I was gonna be gone. Everybody was like, no, we like Roche, a good student. We like Roche. He cool people. He helped me with my work or whatever. Like, he silly, but he a good team player or whatever. She was like, my votes counts higher than everybody else. So guess what, Mr. President, you impeached. And so
okay.
that
So
was
that way,
where the
Presidente.
you know what I'm saying? Like, so again, and it kind of went around, not around the school, but around the grade. It's like, oh, you got impeached like the president. You know what I'm saying? So like. And so then I just took it and ran with it. I'm Mr. President. And so then, of course, I was taking Spanish too. And so it's like, oh, okay, El Presidente, you. Like, yeah, that's me, El Presidente, the Prez. So I just took that, and ran with it. But in my life, whether it was musically, I was always in that position of leadership where people look to me, like, okay, what we going to do, or Shay, what you think? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always somebody that people look to like, you got a lot of wisdom, like, what's your opinion on this, or people having an argument, Shay, you settle it. Which one of us is right? Which one of us is wrong? And so it kind of fits not just even with that, but my whole life. So that's where the whole, El Presidente comes from.
Okay. Okay. Right. So you have it officially there, people. So anybody asks or whatever, like you just
And we got people, like I said, Pat Morris, he went to school with me. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're going to have Sell on here for us over with. He can verify that.
Yeah.
It's not, it's Googleable, as they say. It's verifiable.
It is Googleable with that. Now, and given like just looking back, like some of our topics that we pretty much kind of talked about going back in like season one. One for sure with the award your man, reward your man.
Yeah.
You know,
That was one of
yeah.
my favorites, one of my personal favorites.
What I'm saying? And so I've had, questions, people asking like what, some people may be in their feelings asking like what makes you all, are experts or, to talk about that or given, your situation and everything, within that. And so my answer would be to that is, everybody has their own perspective. Now, you can say right, wrong, or indifferent, just as in somebody that comments that y'all have your opinion on either myself or Rag or whatever. But that's what it is that perspective. Now, you got receipts as far as what works and what may not work, but you know what I'm saying? You can down somebody else's opinion. It pretty much, it is what it is. And so, not giving Rag, I know, I remember myself in season one, I think Rag, he talked, I think, definitely probably more than me because I think he was probably a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera.
And it wasn't just that. I mean, like
time,
you see, like I pontificate. You know what I'm saying?
You do that.
Like and y'all would hear us say that word a lot. And
you mean story time?
I'm big, yeah, even with the story time. But no, I'm big on that. But no, so just for the people who don't know, pontificate means a verb. It means that you're expressing your opinion in a way that people may consider annoyingly pompous and dogmatic.
How you spell that?
Pontifficate. And so like when you're dogmatic about something, like dogmatic means it's almost like, I guess the closest thing you could say is like religious about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whatever your opinion, when you're dogmatic about something, it's like, no, that's my truth. Like I eat, breathe, and sleep that. And so like when we're sharing our opinions, whether it's about the Cowboys, 49ers, Grizzlies, Bulls, conservative, whatever, it's like we are dogmatic about that. You know what I'm saying? And like, so we pontificate a lot. So for me, when we started, like that just put the battery in my back.
Yeah.
Like this was conversations that we were having on the phone, in person, I may have at work. So it's like, oh, Cameron don't mean nothing. Like we're doing exactly what we were doing. Yeah. Anyway.
Now what you say, is it I don't know if you remember, it's like the righteous ratchet type of vibe. Like how would you look at our dynamic as far as how, okay, you can say more conservative or whatever, or you more kind of whatever, but given mine would be like righteous ratchet or just kind of like
I would say we are like the prodigal son and the brother who stayed.
Okay. I didn't look at it like that.
Because like the prodigal son, like he knew what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he had a moment like LeBron where he was like, I want to take my talents to South Beach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he knew what it was. And so like even with me, again, I mean, if you just talk about knowledge and studying information,
yeah,
I've got over 20 years of just the knowledge and studying information of ministry, but actually being in it, like I was at 10 years before a lot of these folks was getting started.
Yeah.
So just because I'm not in a pulpit, I didn't stop that. I didn't stop the studying information because I want to know for me. So when I do wrong and I ask the Lord to forgive me, I know what I'm asking forgiveness for. I know why what I did or said was wrong. You see what I'm saying? So like that doesn't change because even right now, and it goes even deeper. Like if my heart was in a different place, I could do that tomorrow. I can't do it today because my heart ain't different.
Yeah.
And that don't have nothing to do with the knowledge. That don't have nothing to do with the anointing. But one thing that I would not do even back then And shout out to my mentor, my big homie Jay Sanders, but he hit me up the other day because he watched the episode.
Jay
And
Sanders.
go hit the Mr. Like button episode,
My guy.
season 2.
Season 2.
But he was like, he asked me about a relationship that I had with somebody else. And I was like, no, I said, at that particular time, I said, I was actually working and serving the church. I said, I wasn't doing nothing. I was as straight laced as they come. Like, couldn't nobody say I was doing nothing. I was like, because if I'm going to be involved in ministry, like, it's certain stuff that's just not acceptable. And I understand that. You see what I'm saying? So, like, from the righteous standpoint, I would say more so, I guess, the righteous standpoint for you is because, like, you probably could go today and be behind the pulpit or be serving or, be a deacon or something like that. But like with me now, I know I couldn't.